Paldean Fates is the latest expansion in the Scarlet and Violet era, and it is definitely one for collectors, with loads of reprints and a massive shiny vault that doesn't leave much room for brand new playable cards. That being said, there are some gems in this set, and one of them we're looking at today, and that's TREADS EX with its Iron-Clad Roll attack, which hits for a measly 150 damage. So you're probably wondering why we're even bothering looking at this deck, but there is something slightly special about that attack. So let's jump in and see why a 220 HP basic EX Pokemon with a 150 damage, 3 energy cost attack is even worth showcasing. So the big boy in this deck is TREADS EX, and I'll be honest, I wasn't blown away when I first saw this card. We've got Iron-Clad Roll there for 150 damage, and if we take that at face value, it's not the best of cards because it is 3 energy, hitting for 150, 220, basic as you get EX Pokemon. But if we look a little bit closer, we can see that after doing damage, you may discard all Future Booster Energy Capsules from this Pokemon. If you do, during your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes 150, yes, 150 less damage from attacks. So, most Pokemon are hitting for anywhere between 150 and around about 220 at basic stage at the moment. So you're pretty much sitting there, tanking it out in the active spot, just taking 50 or 70 damage. So you can see why there's something a little bit special. Obviously, we've built this deck primarily around that card. So we have got a few bits and pieces in here to help energy acceleration. We've got Lumineon V for that luminous sign ability, so we can guarantee bosses and Arvens and stuff like that. There are a few games in this video, and I did change the setup a little bit midway through. We used to have Irida in there, and we replaced it with Arven because I didn't find I was actually using Manaphy, Radiant Greninja, Lumineon and stuff like that very often. We've got the Magnemite in here from Scarlet and Violet, the base set. I used to play this in a Magnezone EX deck, so I'm very, very familiar with this. The reason this is in here is because of the Astral Radiance Magnezone with that Giga Magnet ability. Once during your turn, you may look at the top 6 cards of your deck and attach any number, yes, any number of metal energy cards you find there to your Pokemon in any way you like, and then shuffle the other cards back into your deck. It's also got Power Beam, which we did use, I think, in one occasion, but it is mainly there to support that TREADS EX, because if we've got 2 of those, we've got one in the active and one on the bench, we get really, really lucky with that Magnezone. We could effectively get both of them ready to start hitting first turn, which is fantastic. So we've also got, obviously, Manaphy, Greninja. We've got Miraidon in here. The only reason we have this in here, we've got a one-of Miraidon. We've got Hisuian Heavy Ball to find it if it does get prized, but it's primarily in there to get these Magnemites on the bench so that we can get Magnezones ready. Second turn, start stacking those energies and start hitting for 150. We've got Rotom V in here. I'm pretty sure everyone knows what this does because it's in loads and loads of competitive decks at the moment. I actually play it in my Charizard EX deck as well because sometimes you're not going to be able to get an attack off first turn, even if you're going second. So that instant charge allows you to draw 3 cards, but it does end your turn. We've got 4 VIP pass in there, 2 counter catcher, which I added halfway through the video. We've got 1 energy recycler, just to get those energies back in there when the TREADS do go to the discard pile. We've got a Hisuian Heavy Ball. We've got 1 Nest Ball. Again, if we find that first turn and we don't find the Miraidon, we can go in for the Miraidon. We've got 1 Palpad, which allowed me to drop counts of supporters, which was quite useful. 3 rare candies. We only use those for the Magnezones. We've got 3 Ultra Balls, obviously the same again. We have, and this is probably the important part, we have 3 town stores as stadiums. These are the only stadium cards we play. The reason for that is because once during each player's turn, that player may search their deck for a Pokemon tool card. Fantastic. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then the player shuffles their deck. Coupled with that, we have, I think we've got 6, yeah, we've got 6 tool cards in here. I just had to double check because I couldn't remember if we played 1 or 2 Forest Sealstone. 2 Forest Sealstone for the Rotom or the Lumineon to guarantee some cards late game. But the big card and the big thing that makes this deck click and work a little bit better than I first thought it would is the Future Booster Energy Capsule, which, yes, it does add 20 more damage to attack, so you're hitting for 170 to start with. It's got a free retreat cost, which is great, but the big thing is to be able to discard them to make sure that the Iron-Clad Roll attack protects you for 150 damage, which, if you think about it in the grand scheme of things, is pretty decent in today's meta, because a lot of V cards, you're hitting, as I mentioned, for like 170, 220, things like that. You're taking 150 off those. So it effectively means you can sit there and take loads and loads of attacks before you get knocked out. It also messes up maths a little bit for some people. So we played Goldengo in one of the games, and I'm pretty sure I remember somebody stacking a load of energy on, thinking they'd take the Iron Treads out, forgetting about the Future Energy Capsule, which is fantastic. Really helped out. We've got 2 Arven, 2 Boss, 3 Colourless, which is our search card. I used to play Colourless as a search card because it lets you look at 5 cards and take 3 of them. It doesn't mean that you end up with a handful of VIP pass sometimes mid-game. We've got 1 Roxanne. We used this once. I am tempted to take that out as well, but I don't know what to replace it with. Probably Iono. I'd probably drop Colourless down to 2 and put 2 Ionos in there if I had to. And then, as is the case with Miraidon and some of these decks that sort of draw energies as part of their whole system, we've got 14 metal energies in there. So that being said, let's jump in and see if this Iron Treads EX can compete with some of the meta decks that are out there at the moment. So, no idea what we're playing against whatsoever, but we will soon find out. I'm hoping... I don't really mind how we go, to be honest. We just need to make sure that we can get the Miraidon kicking first turn to get the 2 Magnezones ready as soon as possible. So we are going first. Isn't necessarily a bad thing because supporter-wise, we're not supporter heavy, but we do get VIP pass. We've got Magnus. We don't really want a Magnemite in the active, but it'll do. We have got Colourless, so we can start searching for specific things we want as well. See how we get on. Good thing about Colourless in this deck as well, if we wanted to drop 2 cards, we could add a Cramorant and the new, is it Crisis Shot? So we'd be ready then. We'd only need 4 in the last zone, which we'd get from 2 Colourlesses. Gengar V, oh, that's sad. That's going out of rotation. Sad, sad time. So we're going to go in for an Iron Treads and a Rhydon that's not in deck. No. Okay, what can we get? Can we do anything? Not really. Now we're going to get the Rotom so that we can use instant spot. Is it instant charge? Yeah. And then we can start stacking down here. We are going to finish with instant charge. And we have got Colourless for next turn. We get the Seal Stone as well, which means we can actually get the Heavy Ball to get Miraidon out to get the other Magnemite that we'll need. Be interesting to see what else is in the prize cards as well, to be honest. Quite a fun little deck. It's not going to break the meta. Like I say, 150, as we know, isn't big numbers. But the fact that if we get rid of a Future Energy Capsule, it's taking 150 less. Obviously, it doesn't stop against, I think, anything with effect. So Roaring Moon, things like that, we probably will struggle against, unless people don't know what the deck does. Which is probably the only thing we can hope for. Let's see how we get on. They're going to stack. I think there's probably not much more they can do this turn. I'm going to, I don't know which. You know what? It isn't too bad because we can go in for all of those, and we do get the Adamant as well, but we haven't got any energy. It's a little bit frustrating. We can Ultra Ball. Or what would we Ultra Ball for? Maybe we can Irida to find the right. So energy. We are going to Irida, and we're going to go for the Candy. What else are we going to need? Well, we could go for the Lumineon, but we won't need it this turn, so there's not much point. We'll get it in hand, though. Worth doing. Ultra Ball, and for the Ultra Ball, what are we going to get rid of? Do we want to get rid of Adaman? We've got much of a choice. I don't really want to get rid of Town Store either, but there are 3 in deck. So with the, obviously we'll go for the Magnezone, Rare Candy, and trouble is we haven't got the switch, which is a frustrating thing. So we do, and we, is it 2 or 3? I forget now. Any number. Okay, so if we do hit 3, we may be able to pull this off. Okay, I think I can go on any Pokemon. So we want 2 up here, and then we want the second one down here. And we can then retreat the Magnezone. Retreat the Magnezone with a tiny little retreat there. And what went on there. And we can Iron-Clad Roll for 170, and then we are taking, I forget the numbers that VMAX attacks for. Just in case he finds the VMAX, I am going to get rid of that. Does leave us in a bit of a situation where we're probably going to search for a Colourless with the Lumineon next turn, and hope, fingers crossed, we can get a Town Store or the Future Energy Capsule. See what goes on. We'll keep our little fingers crossed. It's a fun little deck to play with. Obviously, the Miraidon being prized doesn't particularly help, because the Miraidon would get us set up with the Magnemites we need. But we do have 1 Iron Treads ready to go. If he doesn't even, I mean, even if he evolves next turn 150, I don't know what the VMAX has. We did him for 170. I think we can take a VMAX, Gengar VMAX out actually, which don't mind, unless it does that, obviously. Sigh. Very, very much sigh. Right, okay. That confuses things a tad. Lumineon. We'll get another Iron Treads ready, I think is probably the sensible thing to do. And we can do that with Colourless, or we take the risk with Colourless, or do we get it with Irida? We can't get it with Irida because they're water Pokemon. And as we can see, this is not water. So we are going to use Colourless. Do you get the Forest Seal Stone? We're going to go for... Oh. I don't really want to get rid of any energies. Definitely don't want to get rid of 2, so they're going to go to the Lost Zone. Seal Stone onto Lumineon. Star Alchemy. Oh, Star Alchemy in 4. Have we got Switch? Is that free retreat? I can't retreat, I'm asleep. What can we go in for? This ball maybe? I don't know. Yes. I'm going to say yes to the nest ball. Just let us get another Iron Tread set up, and then we can use Giga Magnet again. Okay. We're going to attach down here, and then we're going to fingers crossed. Yeah, fingers crossed for another 3. We just get the 1 this turn. We can attach down here. We're set up then the next turn, but we can instant charge. We are probably going to get knocked out next turn from the VMAX if we get it. We do get the heads, but they could probably use Dark Slumber again. We could have done with that next turn, really. If they evolve it, they're probably not going to use Dark Slumber. They have to find the VMAX. Obviously, the benefit of them finding the VMAX and actually evolving it as well, it's 3 prizes we can take. We are getting through this deck quite quickly as well. The option is they always get the VMAX on the bench, which means we've then got to go through that one. I actually love this deck. I used to play it with the single strike energies and the Houndoom. I can't remember the ability it had, but it let you attach, I think, 1 single strike energy. I think it was 1 single strike energy, which obviously added 20 damage as well onto the Gengar VMAX's main attack. The problem we have now is a Star Abyss from this, which I can't use. I've only used it once. Got the Glaring Moltres as well. Interesting matchup. Interesting matchup, actually. No weakness, which is good. Around either side. I think this depends on which Gengar V they evolve, to be honest. I've just realised we actually... it's not as simple as it seems. We do actually need the energy capsule as well. Dark Slumber, Pulse even. Yeah, attack of 30. Okay. So they are going to take knockout on the first Iron Treads. We have got Boss in hand, so if we can somehow find... what do we need? Really, because it's only hitting for 150, we need to make sure we're safe. Such a beefy retreat cost as well. This dude's electronic, can he not float? I'm going to try this before I attach return. Chances of them... ah, there is another one. Wow. Luck is in our favour. So, do we go for the Miraidon? Is there much point? No, there isn't. We're going to go for the Greninja. Anything that helps us draw. Anything at all. So, conceal cards. Can we get Town Store? We can't, but we do get another Magnemite. It's always good. And we do get colourless. Just an item card. I forget what the ancient... They're not item cards, are they? No, they're tools. Okie dokie. So we are going to have to colourless. Are we? Yes, and we do get one. And we get that. Fantastic. I don't think we need Roxanne. He's only a one-off though. Might need that later in the game. Okay, try and work out what's going on here. I've just realised we've actually benched ourselves out as well, which is slightly scary. We're not going to put that out yet in case it gets snatched away, but we can hit for 170 again. The reason it's hitting for 170, obviously, is the Future Energy Booster Capsule as well. So it hits for an additional 20. We've got 2 of those now we've got rid of. There are 2 more in deck. We can search for them with the Town Store. So next turn, we are taking the Darkrai V out, which gets us match for prize cards. Ideally, we want one of these. We do want one of these. Chances of... what are the chances? What are the chances of them evolving that's problematic. Actually, it's not problematic, is it? We don't need either of these anymore. And they are liabilities, so... not a problem. Actually helped us a little bit. It's going to take them slightly longer. This is getting taken out this turn. That is the problem. They've got a lot of dark energy on the bench now. Smash in. I honestly thought okay, that's... I like to see that. I do very much like to see that. Can we get another 2? Get 1. Is good. Good stuff. We can take the knockout, and we're also resistant again. Yes. Town Store. One of those. Hmm. Yeah, that's probably the biggest danger at the moment to us. But there is another one ready up here. That's the only issue. Do we boss anything else here? No, we don't. We just go for the knockout, I think. Yeah, so we use supporter. We're going to get that and that. Rare candy. We can then Ultra Ball away the VIP pass and the Manaphy. Hopefully. Oh, have we only got one? Did we prize one? That's horrible. That is horrible. Rough. That's some rough stuff. So we are just going to have to take the knockout. But we are resistant, again, to another 150. So if something's hitting for any less than... what have we got left? 70. So if anything, is anything hitting for over 140? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh no, that's not how it works, is it? It's 150 off the attack, so 40. We are safe unless this evolves. If it does evolve, I think we might be safe for another turn, and we will be down to one prize card. That'll be on 2 as well. And they only then need to take another hit on the Iron Treads. What are they looking for? A very strange deck if they play no Gengar VMAX whatsoever. Very sensible what they're doing. They're actually waiting as well till last minute to actually play them. So we can take another couple of turns. They've already put. Did we put that down store out? Did they put it out? I don't remember. We've got one more booster capsule. That's the issue. Is we can only play 4 of them. I'm not entirely sure if there's a way of getting those back either. Now we're going to boss the fresh one in. We're hitting 190. He's only hitting 190, so that's that. Left on 30. So 170. Not quite taking enough. That's frustrating. Yeah, we've got to take the big chunk. I mean, actually, that was quite silly, because we weren't taking the knockout anyway, were we? 170. No, we're taking 200. We could take the knockout on the other Gengar, which does put us ahead in the prize race, but it does also mean, I mean, we don't need to get rid of the... Oh, we need the energy. We need the energy. Can it be done? Can be done. We're not going to get rid of the... No. Actually, it won't matter, but we get knocked out anyway, so why not? If there's anything that they haven't realised. The only problem we have got now is that next turn... What's this? 210. We need to take knockout. We need to take 2 prizes, which we can't do. And that's probably one of the downsides to this deck. It's only hitting for 170. Obviously, if this uses Pain Explosion again to take the knockout on this, we're okay. I can't see that being the case. I cannot see there not being any Gengar VMAXs. There's no way they've prized all of their Gengar VMAXs. Are they even playing them? Are they even playing VMAXs in this deck? Let's see how we get on. Be interesting because this is actually, you haven't seen this, this is actually the first game I'm playing with this deck as well. So, yeah. It'd be quite nice to get a win. It would be quite nice to get a win. Oh, that takes knockout. That's a little bit mean. That's a bit mean. That's even more mean. We did have the rare candy and the Magnezone, didn't we? We do get boss. I don't think we're going to do with boss. I don't think there is there? So they're getting a boss for next turn as well. Okay. Okay, probe. Strange one. Very strange. Going to catch him maybe? No, they use the... Yeah, okay. That's a strange one. That is a strange one. Is there any way around this? Is there any way we can do this? I don't think there is. 150. 150 on a 2 prize. So we get 2 bosses. 150 on 10 store. Have a look, see if there are 5 in the deck. We know there aren't, obviously. 150, 150, 150. I mean, we can hope they haven't got the energy to attach. That won't be the case. Do we also get something else set up just in case? No, we don't. Frustratingly. So we can hit for 150. A little bit frustrating because if we did have one of those booster capsules, we could have took knockout on that Lumineon. We are hoping they haven't got energy, escape rope, switch, anything like that. That's the reason we did what we did. Fingers crossed. They have got 4 in the discard. They've got 12. There's a potential. There is definitely a potential for us to take the win here. Can it be done? It can be done. So they couldn't find what was needed to take the win there. They did need to get the Lumineon. So using the boss that last turn did win us that game. We do start with 2 battle VIP passes though, which is good. And we are going to put the Magnemite in the active because we don't actually need the Miraidon now because of the battle VIP passes. So we are going second, which is good. The trouble with that, we can't get kicking on first turn with this deck. It is a deck that needs to be set up. We need those Magnezones ready to be able to start it kicking. Which we can't do, obviously, first turn because we can't evolve those Magnemites into the Magnezone. But we can get another... Probably another Magnemite set up. We'll get a couple of Iron Treads set up. And... we can probably finish, if Rotom's in deck, with the instant charge from Rotom. So we can get ready for next turn, the turn after our first turn. Got the rare candy as well, which is good. That will allow us next turn to be able to try and get these going. As you can see, I've made some changes. So we've got Counter Catcher in here now as well, because I was having issues with getting bits and pieces out. So yes, we can do everything we needed to do just by using the VIP passes, which is good. We've got our big boys on the bench now. And we are just going to have to finish with instant charge. We're not going to attach this booster capsule yet. Got one of the Magnezones. Perfect. So, I think what we're probably going to do, if we can, we're going to attack. We're actually going to try and evolve this Magnemite down here. The reason behind that is potentially we can find another Magnezone and a rare candy off something else. I don't know what we're going to find that off. We might get colourless. If we can attach 1 energy to this, 2 to here, if we can find... I mean, potentially. The good thing about this deck is we could find 6 energies. The top 6 cards of this deck are 6 energies. We can stack 6 because... with Giga Magnet, once during a turn, you may look at the top 6 cards of your deck and attach any number of metal energy cards you find there to your Pokemon in any way you like, and then shuffle the other cards back into the deck. We don't lose anything. We can stack, as I said, up to 6 energies, so we can actually get both of these Iron Treads kicking very, very early on. Probably one of the big benefits of this deck, but we're not going to do that yet. We're going to see how many we can get off this Magnezone. Obviously, we got the Rotom for the VStar ability. We just get the 2. Isn't amazing. We are ready for next turn now. And as we can't attack, we are just going to use instant charge to end the turn. One of the big things about this Rotom is that instant charge. It's being played in pretty much everything. The Charizard EX deck that I play in person at the moment, we've got it in there. People are playing it in the Snorlax stall deck, which we're not going to talk about. We're not going to talk about that deck at all, because it's just evil. Just evil. It's just evil. And I should be paying slightly more attention because we are in a little bit of a predicament here. Because I have just spotted that they've got Going Arcana Guardy and the standard Guardy set up. The Mew's using Mysterious Tail as well. One of the big benefits of this Mew, which is actually, very sadly, rotating out in March or April, I believe, this year. So we're going to see a lot of these cards drop out of circulation. Obviously, no, that's safe. For some reason, I thought this was older than Astral Radiance. I don't know why. Strange. Obviously, this is Scarlet and Violet. This is it Lost Origin? Everything else. Roxanne, did that go? No, Roxanne's safe. Wow. Okay. But this is pretty rotation safe. If it was slightly more competitive, it might be decent. I mean, it's not quite as bad as the... Is it Great Tusk? And that's lovely. I don't know. As I'm looking away, I'm looking at the screen, see what happens. Great Tusk EX from Paldean Fates, which, if you want to see me do a video of that on the channel, do drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know. I'm slightly frustrated that hasn't actually been taken out. We can get it going by matching up here for turn. Then we're going to keep our fingers crossed for Giga Magnet. How many are we getting? 3, not bad. So we can get the other Iron Treads set up as well now, which is good stuff. Awesome stuff. And I have a plan. We are going to retreat to start with. Retreat into this. And then we are going to Ultra Ball. Or Lumineon. We'll slap that down on the bench. And we're going to go in for... So we can take that out in 2 turns. Yeah, 2 turns. We go for the immediate threat. No, I think we try and stop the energy acceleration. We have got that obviously for next turn. We're going to do 170 with Iron-Clad Roll. Is it Iron-Clad Roll? And get rid of the Booster Capsule. Obviously, as we can see from the card, takes 150 less damage. But what were we talking about? We were talking about Great Tusk EX, weren't we? Which Quaking Demolition is the ability of this Pokemon. It's an ancient Pokemon from Paldean Fates. Once at the end of your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, don't like this. This attack's damage isn't affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. I don't know what happened then, I read both of them out. Let's try that again. Let's try reading this time. So, Quaking Demolition. We can see there. Quaking Demolition. Once at the end of your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, you must discard the top 5 cards of your deck. Not the nicest of abilities, but Great Bash does do 260 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So, not the best of cards. I think out of the two, obviously it's more destructive than this, but this is more of a techie, let's look after ourselves deck, whereas that one's just a let's go in and smash everything in sight. So I do prefer this. I do prefer the Iron Treads. And so far, I do think that I prefer the future Pokemon that have been released. Obviously, we got Miraidon, got this. Iron Valiant. Obviously Roaring Moon. A lot of people are playing Roaring Moon at the moment. Have they not got enough energy? No, no energies. That was, I think, actually the right move. I'm going to put that down here. We also... yeah. Use Giga Magnet again, but we're going to get none. 6, 7, 8, 9. There are some left in deck, so it's a little bit strange. We didn't get it. Obviously, there is a Curlier on the bench as well, so you need to be conscious of that, because that is just going to replace this Guard EX in the active. 170 for the knockout, but we're ahead on prizes, which is always good for Guardy. We are going to get rid of that because this is actually set up to do big chunky numbers next turn. So that one gone. We've got 1, 2, 3, 8, which is 60, 150. It's doing 300 damage, which for us currently doing 150 because we got rid of that booster capsule last turn. So this is sort of a big benefit of this deck. Like I said, it's not going to break any metas. It's not going to change an awful lot going on. It really isn't. But it's a nice fun card. And there aren't a lot of cards that have been released in Paldean Fates that are different. So to see something like this, it is quite nice. It is quite nice. I can't remember what else is fresh in Paldean Fates, to be honest. Off the top of my head. I know obviously we've got this one. We've got the Great Tusk. There are some. Obviously we've got the Charmeleon. The... what's it called? Yeah, the Flare Veil Charmeleon. I'm just having a look through the set list. We've got a Sparthra EX, which is a grass type, which uses psychic energy, so things like that. There aren't an awful lot, but if you do want to see any decks specifically built from Paldean Fates, like I said, drop a comment in the comment section and we can try and see how we get on with those. So that, obviously, they would have been set up for a big knockout there, but because of the ability last turn, I think what we do here, we're going to go and see what's in the prizes. We have got a Magnemite. Oh, that's not nice. And the one-of Energy Recycler. That could cause problems, so we need to try and find that if we can. Yeah, we don't necessarily need to worry about the booster capsule. But I am actually just going to go out and attack, because the bench is looking a little bit worrying for them at the moment. There is the threat of that Cresselia, obviously, which can do, I think, is it 20 damage for every move 2 damage counters from each of your Pokemon to one of your opponent's Pokemon. So it can take knockout on the Iron Treads next turn. We have snuck forward in the prize race, which is good. Another card, actually, in the recent set is the baby Goldengo. For the 130 HP, stage 1 single prized Goldengo, which has an attack called Lavish Hospitality. And you may attach any number of basic metal energies from your hand to your Pokemon any way you like. So, actually, could work quite nicely with this deck. Be a good way to... Very, very, actually, good way to start. No, it still needs to evolve, that's the problem. Yeah, never mind, I got excited then, unnecessarily. But there's a lot of reprints, obviously. We've got Squawkabilly's in there. We've got Noivern EX, which keeps poking its head into sets, and I don't know how it does it. We've got the Technical Machine Crisis Punch as well, this one here, which is going to be absolutely horrendous when coupled with Lost Box, because the attack cost of 3 is actually cancelled out by the Cramorant ability. So, last turn of the game, you could be taking 2 prize cards and win the game that way. but no energy. 280. And then we've got loads and loads and loads of baby shinies, which is something we've seen quite a lot recently. We've seen Hidden Fates, obviously Shining Fates. Did Hidden Fates have it in? I don't remember. And there are quite a few cool reprints just with the shiny effect on. So Pidgey's in here. I believe Charmander and Charmeleon are in here as well. Are they? Are they? They're in here somewhere. Yes, they are. So we've got Charmeleon, Charmander. It's the Blazing Destruction Charmander and the Flare Veil Charmeleon, which are both baby shinies. I'm not liking this. This is frightening me. So they are going to get to 4 prize cards here, I would imagine. We've got a big chunk here. I can't. So this, obviously, it's only got 40 HP left anyway. But yeah, nice, very, very nice. Nice way to go. We're in a little bit of a predicament here. We've got the Iron-Treads. We need the other. Have we got another Iron-Treads in deck? Or do we get rid of one? Can't remember. And store. The obvious thing to do. Got to get one of these bad boys ready. Stick that on there. 150. Want to do 170 now, so it is enough. Can we do anything with concealed cards? Nope. No, we can't. And we've also filled the bench now, so we need to get 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 11. We've got 3 energies left in deck. So we are in a little bit of a worrying situation where, yes, we can take 2 prizes, but if we don't find the yeah, what's it called? Can anything take us out? Potentially, so I am going to get rid of it. If we don't find the energy recycler, we're in a little bit of trouble here, so... Uh-oh. Hopefully, we can withstand it because we got rid of that Future Energy Capsule, which is good. Fingers crossed for that one. So we'll see how we get on. There is still concerns here. Ooh, that could be nasty. That would be a pretty cheeky way. We have got 1 prize card though, so we'll put that in the active. Potentially we could use this Magnezone to take it out. I haven't got enough energy to do a nasty attack here. But this is the fun part of this deck because 1, 2, 3, 4, 40, is it 20? So 80 will be stacked on this. But as we will find out very, very shortly, because we got rid of that Future Booster Energy Capsule, it's actually doing no damage whatsoever. Which is good for us. There's 3 in there. Unless I've got boss. And I reverse for 0 damage. Ah! Forgot about that. What did that do? Did it do 80? Yeah, that was sensible. But obviously, we have... Have we? Yeah, we have. We have got games, so we can just... 150. Oh, for that, that's nice. Thumbs up. Friendly. No tox. I was going to say toxicity, but that's a System of a Down song, so we're not going to say that. We do end. We finally find that energy recycler, which we could have done with a little bit earlier. Okay, so we... The one day that I choose tails, it will end up going heads, won't it? I think I will go second. There aren't an awful lot of supporter cards in this deck, but on the off chance... Oh, why couldn't we have had a basic there? 2 VIP pass. In the off chance that we get a VIP pass, that we get a... What are we playing? This is Gholdengo. In the off chance that we actually get a supporter, just try and get the brain kicking again. Yeah, we're playing Gholdengo. I thought we were, but I think this will be an interesting matchup. Actually, this will be an interesting matchup. This would be a very, very good matchup to add Devolution Rain to, because they are going to be switching between the two a lot of the time. This is a lot of map. Obviously, the only thing going against us here, potentially, is the fact that unlike Raichu and Chempo, the maths is a little bit off. The maths is pretty much bang on for this. So, VIP pass. And we are going to go in for another Iron Treads and a Miraidon. Because the Miraidon lets us get, I've mentioned it so many times already, but it lets us get those Magnemites, which are absolutely key to this deck. We've got the Magnemites set up. We can use Colourless as well. First turn, which is good stuff. Oh, do they have... I get 10 store as well. We're going to go in. We're going to get one of those. Was that... Oh no, there's two there. And there was one. So we have actually prized one of them. Ooh, this is a toughie. Yeah, I'm going to keep those. That's one of the issues. We don't really want to get rid of any of those. So we can't attack. That is obviously a very, very vulnerable target. But can't attack, so we're just going to use instant charge. So let's just get 3 more cards. And they're not bad cards in all seriousness. We get another Colourless, which will be useful. Good search card. And we get the Lumineon, which is going to be key later on. Going to be key, because we can slap that down and guarantee boss on some of the damaged Gholdengos that have probably been moved back to the bench. I get Irida. So we're looking probably at the Palkia build of Gholdengo. Maybe not. Maybe not. But as I was saying, the maths for this is pretty much bang on. Gholdengo's hitting for 50 per energy, 150 I'd say damage reduction on this. Sort of basically makes the maths very, very easy for people to just do the 3 quickly. It's also not wasting much time either. They are probably going to take their first knockout here as well. But getting rid... I'm going to use 3. Getting rid of those so early on, not the best of things to do. We can only hope that they haven't quite got enough to take the knockout. They've only got 4. Still in this one. Okay. Not terrible, but we do need to keep an eye on this. We do need to keep an eye on it, because can we get rare candy off this? Don't necessarily have to, that's the thing, do we? Oh, that's not nice. 2 Iron Treads, we're going to have to get rid of an Iron Treads. Oh, that's horrendous. Are 2 Forest Seal Stones, I think. Don't like doing that. Really don't like the idea of doing that. Okay. But what we can do is guarantee a Magnezone setup. So we're going to use Star Alchemy, which allows us to go in for Rare Candy, I believe. Yes, one rare candy. And we can evolve the Magnemite. And we can then use Giga Magnet. We're using it quite early on. The chance of hitting something is reasonably high as well. We're slightly more safe now as well from the... They are going to need to... Yeah, well... We're just going to make them need more energy here. Which helps get rid of... What we've got in here actually. Do we have another VStar? Could we have got rid of that one? Yeah, we could. That's frustrating. Take that out of the deck. We don't want that in there. Yeah, and then we can 170 Iron-Clad Roll or yeah, we're going to do that. So I do need an additional. Right, so let's work this out. We've got 70 plus 150 is 210, so they do need 5 energies to take us out. So effectively what we've done here is turn this into a big, chunky, beefy Pokemon. The other thing they could do is boss something up, but that does mean that they have to have boss. Got a second one ready? Again, this is probably one of those games where I mention something that would be useful in the deck, and it comes to fruition in this game. If they switch in the Goldengo, we can hit that Star Portal. But they are going to take the Magnemite out, and they're probably going to put some damage on the Iron Treads. If they do that, I'm not sure what happens, I'll be honest. Because Moonlight Shuriken is an attack. But they may just take the Magnemite out. Interesting one. We'll see what goes on. Okay. Retreating into Moonlight Shuriken. I would imagine damage is going here and here. But I don't know for sure. Not entirely sure. We'll see what happens. See what happens. Nest Ball for a Feebas. Ooh. Yeah, interesting one. Bang bang. I don't know. It does still do 90. Oh, that's frustrating. Oh, it doesn't. The end. Yeah, there we go. Well, that's fantastic. It is an attack, so it also salvages itself from that. Perfect. I'm well happy with that, to be honest. Because what we can also do is... I think we got rid of our last one. We're not going to need this for anything else, so... We're going to Radiant Greninja. Because we may use that later on. And we can Giga Magnet again. Just the one. It's not bad. Bit on this bad boy down here. This chunky boy is getting taken out anyway, so we can actually counter catcher in the damaged Goldengo and take 2 prizes. Good stuff. Yeah. 150. We are slightly ahead again now, but they are going to jump to 3 because they are going to take knockout on the Iron Treads here. We have just got the 1 Future Booster Capsule as well, so that may actually be what wins us the game. The Milotic obviously now is also means that we can't do any hand disruption. So this Roxanne is useless unless we can get rid of that Milotic. Again, this is why I like playing against different things. This is why I don't like to just give you guys videos of me playing 4 games against Rory Moon or 4 games against Charizard. Interesting to see how other things react with other decks. Like I say, this deck just doesn't work against some decks. One of which is Rory Moon. Other decks, probably I'd say Miraidon's probably one that doesn't work against. But theoretically, if they just use 2 energies, we're still in this. How many are they going to use? That's the thing. It'd be amazing. It'd be amazing. Please, please, please. Yeah, I didn't use Future Booster. I didn't have it. Not much we can do. Didn't have it, can't use it. Simple as that. Energy would be nice to guarantee it. Okay. Yep. Just to get rid of their potential to find whatever it is they're looking for. Now we need to see 8 in deck. There's a good chance. I think we still need to thin. VIP patch. Roxanne is of no use anymore, so we'll put the Lumineon in hand. Guarantee their boss, but Future Booster. Giga Magnet, come on. That's all we needed. Just needed the one. Future Booster attached. We have got Counter Catcher, so we can bring that back in if we need to later, but we can hit for 170 and get rid of it. There we get on. We can do this. Some of these decks work, some don't. We know that. Milotic is protecting these. Very much so. It makes sense to have this in the deck. What's the attack do actually? Click find. Okay. So it can hit 140 as well, which is nice. I haven't checked this for a while, so 3, 3. 7 energies. They may have a problem with getting energies back, to be perfectly honest. I only have 1 left. This is the big thing about decks like this. It's being able to sort of throw a spanner in the works when it comes to big... I say big counting. Big counting. When we're actually counting for things. But they will 100% take this out. There's no reason that they would have done this otherwise. Surely not. Gotta have 4. Yep. Okay. I would suggest they've probably got superior energy retrieval in hand as well, but there's only 1. I've got 1 prize card left, which obviously is a little bit problematic for us. Giga Magnet. Can we get any more? Not that we need any more, but we could use it for Power Beam if we need to at any point. Bosses they used. They used 2 bosses, probably 3 in deck, I would say. Get that out of deck. Got 14 cards left. And yeah, I think we just take the knockout. Now the problem we have is that we have no more Future Booster Capsules. So we are reliant on them not having the energy. Which is never the way you want to go. You never want to rely on the opponent not having something. Never a good way. Even if they have superior, they have to boss in one of these. They can't use Counter Catcher. We have to take a 2 prize the next turn. Have to. And the other option, they prize superior. There is a chance they may just concede. And that is purely down to just not keeping a handle on the energies and the resources. This is why I'm I just spend so much time counting through energies. I mean, we've got energy recycling in hand, so... Roxanne? Okay. Doesn't... I mean, that probably means that they've got everything they need now in hand. They did just take those from the bottom. No, did you shuffle them? Super odd. 3. Each card stuff their hand. Yeah, so it's shuffling, so they haven't guaranteed that the card they want is in hand. The only thing I can think is they're after superior energy. However, they've now used Roxanne. They're back in deck. Cancelling clone. Don't think that will matter. How are they not? What are they after? What are they not? What do they not have that they need? They must have prized superior. They must have prized their last superior energy. Anything? Are they just going to pass? It's very exciting if they just passed. It makes me think they've got boss though, that's the only issue. This has got 2 energy retreat cost and they've used it, so 150, 150, 2 turns might be the silly thing to do, but I'm going to boss in the Palkia. Unless they've got switch. I don't know if Goldengo plays many switch cards. Wow. All these energies. Look, in case we need to switch out. That's all I'm doing that for. In case we need to switch out. What else have we got in deck? Or a Sealstone, which I'm getting out. I want to draw into that, do we? There's quite a lot in there. But 150, we're now reliant on them not having the energy to retreat the Palkia. And they do concede, and I do think Boss won us that last minute, because I'm pretty sure they had in hand what was needed to win that game. Okay, here we go again. We are playing against Sarah because we want a little bit of variety in some of these games. We don't just want to play Roaring Moon repeatedly for 6 hours at a time. It would be nice just to see something a little bit different, which we're doing. We've seen Gardy. Now we're playing Miraidon. So we'll see how it fares up against Miraidon, because it doesn't seem, on paper, to be the most favourable of matchups, I'll be honest. But who knows? Who knows? So we do get no, I thought we had an extra mulligan there. We are going to put the Miraidon in the active. And we do get a VIP pass as well. We do get an extra mulligan. We get 2, or was that just the first one? Are we going to get 2 extra cards or 1? I'll take some of that. Right, okay, so we're done. So we're going to put the Iron Treads down. I am going first, which... never a fan of, particularly. We are going to tandem unit for these 2. And then we're going to use VIP pass. And there is logic to what I'm going to do here. Just 1 basic. The reason for that is because if any of these get bossed up with the Raikou in the active, we're going to get slapped. So I'm going to put that there. And I think we just... yeah, we just passed. I could put the I could put the Rotom down and use instant charge, but if they get a full bench, they're hitting for 220, which we don't want to guarantee them doing. At the moment, they're hitting for 200. So I am just going to pass. There is logic. There are a few little brain cells up here. Not many, but there are a few. Also, the fact that if we played the Rotom instead of the Iron Treads, obviously that's a target for boss, which we don't want. Be interesting at some point. Have a look in deck to see what we've got, because I do think the Lumineon is probably going to come in clutch with this matchup. We're going to have to guarantee those bosses. The trouble with this is every single Pokemon that is going to get played here that's a 2-prizer has massive HP. So what that means is we're only hitting for 150 or 170 depending on whether we've got the booster capsules attached. We've got the Lumineon. Use colourless. Ultra Ball. It's good stuff. I don't really want to get rid of 2 energies, but we need the booster capsule. We don't want to send any of those at all to the lost zone. Touch for turn. And then we're going to Ultra Ball, and we're going to get rid of... what do we want to get rid of more? Yeah, it's got to be the Rotom. Rotom and an energy. We need to be careful with the energy count at the moment. We're going to get the Magnezone. We can actually start accelerating the energy here. We need 2 energies. Just 2 energies from this Giga Magnet. Have we got anything we want to get? No. Giga Magnet, 2 energies, please. Just the 1. Oh, it's not good enough. Yeah. Give me 2 energies. We're going to leave this in the active. Same reason as I said last time, because it can tank a hit. And then we're just going to pass. Okay. The Raikou's set up now, but as I mentioned, it can't take the knockout on the Miraidon. The only thing it can take knockouts on are these 2, which I'm hoping boss isn't there, because we need this Magnezone to stay alive as long as possible. Iron Treads, again, both of those can take a hit from Raikou, so either way. I haven't got boss as well, which is good. But they are going to stick that damage on the Miraidon, but we need this to work, or we need an energy. Ideally, if we get energy, we can attach the hand to this to retreat, and then we can get the other Iron Tread set up as well, which would be good. If we can get a couple of those ready at all times. What have they got in for? Okay. That worried me. That just worried me slightly. Lightning Rondo, 200, we're safe. But, as I said, this has to work. We get 3, that's good, good stuff. So, we are going to attach one up there to retreat. And then we are going to bring the Iron Treads in. This should be safe now for the rest of the game. But we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I think we just 170. Get rid of the booster capsule. And we're sort of safer than we would be. The other good thing about this deck, if you wanted to, you probably could play a couple of water energies or a couple of lightning energies for Miraidon and anything else, because the attack cost of this is 2 metal and 1 colourless. So, yes, you're dropping your metal count, but it does allow a little bit more flexibility with attackers. The Greninja, for example, would be a cheeky little attacker in a matchup like this. And guarantee those 2. Yeah, this is the terrifying thing about Miraidon. Just look at that bench. It would be slightly more horrifying if Raichu was in play, to be honest. 50. Yes. Okay. So we got the Greninja, the Raichu. I still don't want to put too many down, to be honest. Yeah. Giga Magnet. We just need 1. We do just get the 1. So we're ready as well. We've got the second one set up. Do we town store? We have to town store. Because what we can do is go for another booster capsule. Slap that down on the iron treads. Yeah, I think we keep the hand as is as well. I mean, there is a potential to get iron out and other things, but by doing this, we're taking 2 prizes. We've also potentially got an out if we need to find boss at any point, which could become the case if, and this probably will happen, because those Miraidons are switching out all the time, and they have to do that because of the Photon Blaster attack. During your next turn, this Pokemon can't attack, so they will be switching in and out. It allows us then to go in with Lumineon and find boss, guarantee a knockout. That Photon Blaster is only going to do bugger. Okay, that's problematic. We need to get that back out, but we can't. Ah, dear. Oh dear, dear, dear. Okie dokie. So we have got space now, comfortable space for the Do we sneak ahead in prizes? No. No, we don't. We just see how... Let's carry on doing this. Why do they keep trying to throw my Future Booster capsules in the Lost Zone? What's this game doing, man? I have still got VStars, so we are going to get that as well. Guarantees it for a couple of turns' time if we need it. Anything else? Don't think there is. We're not going to do that, but we are going to slap that down. And then we are... Have we got a boss? No, we still don't need to use Palpad yet. Just think. Yeah, there's not much else we can do. We are just going to hit for the 170. Get rid of the booster capsule. We've still got another 1, I think, left in deck. Yeah, we've got 1 left in deck. Assuming we haven't prized it. I haven't actually checked that. Didn't look. Taking one of these Miraidons out would be a big bonus. The other thing is bossing in a single prizer. Because we can, assuming... This is probably... I don't like that there's a Miraidon with 20 HP left on the bench, to be honest. I really don't like it. The Mach Blast for 80. Again, because we got rid of... Don't know why they didn't use Miraidon for Photon Blaster. But... Oh no. I have to be the Magnemite. We're going to be 3-on-3 with prizes in a bit. Okay. That causes more issues. But it does mean that the Iron Treads is still alive. Our last Iron Treads. Do get the boss, which is good. But I'd still feel more comfortable. Done it again. Why have I done this? Doesn't matter. And that's the reason. We do need to guarantee something. And what we need to guarantee is the booster capsule. But I think we do that through Town Store. Gets rid of path. That's another path out of the way. There's 3 paths that have been used so far. And yes, we did lose Luminous Sign, but can go in and get our last booster capsule. It's actually a little bit more important than we think, because we can use Giga Magnet. We get 1. Okay. Go down to 3. Get 2 from that potentially. And then we're going to hit for 170. We're not. We're going to boss in. Yeah. I think they may have this. We're going to boss in the Miraidon. We can take the Miraidon. Guarantee 2 here. I don't know why I didn't use Counter Catcher, because that's completely useless now. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. Iron-Clad Roll. We're going to get rid of the booster capsule. We're going to just try and win this. Oh. They take this out, then we're not in a terrible predicament. This worries me. The fact that, again, the VStars already been used pretty much means that we don't like that. Don't like that. That frightens me. That we, yeah, we. Let's see, 1 boss. So there is probably at least 1 more boss in there. That's terrifying. That is terrifying. I will go ahead in prizes. Uh, 60, 120, 240. I don't even know how many they need to use. It's not 4. More than 4. Six? No, it's more than that. They're going to have to use 7. Which basically wipes their boards of energy. Okay. Okay. You know what? I'm not. Oh, there's 9 treads in there. We need the Hisuian Heavy Ball. Please. Please. Oh, come on. That's just not fair. That is just not fair. Assuming... Oh, there's a lot of energies in there. Right. There's a chance. There is a chance. Counter catcher. And I think we'll bring that in. Because that's 120. Unless they have an energy in hand, they don't win next turn. That's the only thing I'm relying on. 120, one prize. Let's see what's in here. 1, 2, 3. Energy recycler still in there, which is good. There's one energy. We need the energy recycler next turn, really. And we need this to be an Iron-Treads next turn. We are reliant on them not having any more energies, because at the moment that Raichu is hitting for 120, which isn't enough to take out the Magnezone. Uh-oh. Yes! And we have boss. And we have boss. Yeah, okay. It can be done, people. It can be done. It can be done. And there's the last Iron-Treads that I needed. We can do it. One of the biggest decks in the meta. We can actually beat slightly. Even with more attack damage. So as you can see, it definitely does a job. We do, I'd say, probably 50% of the time we do get a win. It's not something that's going to change the meta. It definitely isn't. Having 4 of those Future Booster Energy Capsules basically means you've got, what, two prizes you can take out before you're quite vulnerable. And that was the case a lot of the time. Obviously with the Miraidon matchup, that was tough. That was very, very tough. What it does do well is a lot of these decks, so we're talking Goldengo, Chempo, even the Raichu in Miraidon, it does make people have to think a little bit about energies they're going to discard, which I do quite like. I like that you sat there and you're on the edge a little bit. It does make you sit there and think, am I going to get away with this or not? And sometimes it does. Sometimes you do get away with it, but 90% of the time, I'll be honest, this is a little bit trash. It's a good deck just to have a laugh with, just to have a joke with, and see how it runs. And I think that's going to be the same case with Great Tusk. That is probably going to be the next TCG live video we do on the channel. If that's something you want to see, make sure you drop a comment in the comment section. So if you do like this kind of content, remember to drop a like on the video. And if you're not already, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so that every single time a video goes live, whether it's one of these TCG videos or a pack opening video, you'll be notified. And if it is pack opening videos, you can jump on and grab the code cards. But until next time, thanks guys.